Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. The model demonstration of the development of the nervous system and the cranial nerves. So we start with the first model. Uh, this is the forebrain, the midbrain, the hindbrain. This is the auditory pit, which develops into the auditory vesicle. This is the fifth cranial nerve. This is where the fifth cranial nerve will develop. And this region represents the region of development of the seventh and the eighth cranial nerves. The optic vesicle, the ninth cranial nerve, region of the ninth cranial nerve, and the region of the 10th cranial nerve, spinal cord, heart, first pharyngeal arch, also known as mandibular arch, second pharyngeal arch, also known as hyoid arch. Next model. Okay, now this is the forebrain developed into the telencephalon. This is the telencephalon. Again, the optic vesicle. Forebrain is developed into the telencephalon and the dilencephalon. The midbrain, hindbrain. Impression of the fifth cranial nerve, development of the fifth cranial nerve, the seventh and the eighth cranial nerves. The ninth cranial nerve, the tenth cranial nerve, the auditory vesicle, spinal cord. Next. Further development. This is the telencephalon vesicle. The eye, in the process of developing. This is the dilencephalon, the midbrain, the hindbrain. This region represents the midbrain flexure. This is the pontine flexure. And this is the hindbrain flexure. Yeah, this is the trigeminal ganglion developing. Giving off the ophthalmic nerve, maxillary nerve, mandibular nerve. The auditory vesicle. The seventh cranial nerve, the ninth cranial nerve, the 10th cranial nerve. This is the 12th cranial nerve, the hypoglossal, mandibular arch, hyoid arch. Again, telencephalon, optic vesicle, dilencephalon, midbrain, hindbrain, and this structure, it's a bit confusing. It's called the rhombic lip. I don't know what it means, rhombic lip. This is the myelencephalon, the trigeminal ganglion, giving 3 divisions. This is the auditory vesicle. Auditory vesicle. This is the ninth cranial nerve again. The 10th cranial nerve. The 12th cranial nerve. The 7th cranial nerve. Next one. This is the fully developed cerebral hemisphere, developed from the telencephalon. Cerebral hemisphere, the olfactory lobe or bulb, the optic chiasma, dilencephalon, the mesencephalon, midbrain, having the superior colliculus and the inferior colliculus, the cerebellum, the medulla. trigeminal nerve, ophthalmic, maxillary, mandibular. The spinal cord, the seventh cranial nerve, and this is the chorda tympani branch of the seventh cranial nerve, the facial nerve. This is the ninth cranial nerve, the 10th cranial nerve, the 12th cranial nerve. So this was about the development of the nervous system.